Tentacle fucking sucks.
Just kidding, guys. Shout out to Uncle Lou. Welcome, trainers. Watts here, and today we're going to be discussing all of the new moves we're going to get access to and some of the new abilities we get access to now that we have the updated Pokemon Bank. So this is pretty crazy. A lot of moves here definitely have a serious amount of potential to shake up the metagame. So let's get right into what we have. So first up, Vikavolt gets Electro Web. This is pretty cool because a lot of Vikavolt do run String Shot, so this gives them an alternative speed control move and one that does a lot of damage. You obviously can't hit ground types with it, so that's a minus, and it has a little bit of a chance to miss, and it's only going to drop their speed one stage, but it's also a stab electric type attack that is attacked on with a 143 base special attack Pokemon. Alolan Muck gets access to Assurance, and that's pretty crazy because it gives it an alternative really powerful dark type stab move other than just Knockoff. Whereas Knockoff is obviously insane, it's never going to replace Knockoff, but Assurance might replace that fourth move slot that's going in favor of Curse and Shadow Sneak right now. Just for that guaranteed amount of damage that you can hit Z Pokemon with, and also Pokemon who you've already knocked off their items for. Granted, I don't really know if Assurance will replace Curse or Shadow Sneak because both of those are so good, but there's definitely a chance and it's definitely very notable. Next up is Mandibuzz. It gets Knockoff, which is actually really good, I think, because while it's not going to be doing much damage, it gives a lot of utility. Just the fact that Mandibuzz is so bulky that it's going to sit around a lot, it can just knock off item after item, and considering how many 50% berries are running around right now, that's really, really good. Knocking off a recycling Snorlax's berry, that's huge. So that's definitely a super notable move, something that I definitely think is going to see a bit of play. And another thing that Mandibuzz gets is Fake Tears, which is really, really cool because you pair that up with a really powerful special attacking Pokemon, and that's guaranteed OHKO right there. So that's pretty cool as well. Next up is Machamp. Machamp gets Ice Punch, which is pretty cool because Machamp doesn't really have any usage right now. It's a super niche Pokemon, like barely any usage, but it does have access to that No Guard Dynamic Punch as always, and the fact that it's fighting Stab with so many P2 running around is really good, but it didn't really have anything else going for it. Now that it has Ice Punch, it can counter Garchomp, Salamances, so that's pretty cool. It gets it's just something else it can do. Granted, it loses hardcore to all the Tapus, but the fact that it does have something else going for it, so two things that are very notable in the format going for it, it's definitely a Pokemon that could see a little bit more play.
Dragonite gets Extreme Speed. I think this is actually huge because now it just feels so good now. Extreme Speed is one of the best moves in the game. I mean, Arcanine's running it to very great success right now, and I think it's just generally very strong. And Dragonite is super powerful. Gets multi-scale, it's very defensive, it's also very offensive with its high attack. I think Extreme Speed is definitely what the Pokemon needed to see at least a little bit of usage.
Next up is Salazzle. The boy Salazzle gets Fake Out. Everybody's been waiting for this day. Salazzle is a Pokemon that's always been right on the cusp of playable because it is Fire Poison type, very powerful, very fast, the fastest thing in the format outside of the 130 bases, and I guess Weavile, if anybody's playing Weavile, gets outsped by Weavile. But the fact that like this Pokemon's Fire Poison, both insanely powerful typings right now, things like Celesteela and Kartana running around the fire hits, things like the Tapus that the poison hits, is really, really notable. Poison type is the only type that hits all four Tapus for super, so super notable typing. The fact that Salazzle gets Fake Out just gives it that extra push to viability, because now it doesn't just lose every other matchup just flat out. It has something else going for it. It can still support your ally with a Fake Out. So that's super notable, something I think it definitely needed, and something I think will definitely make it very viable. Alright, EV players, there's something for you too. Clefairy gets Heal Pulse, okay? Something to give Clefairy and Clefable a little bit more viability right now. Having Heal Pulse is pretty good. I think these Pokemon could see a little bit of play outside of EV teams as like just a good support Pokemon. Right now, the format has kind of centralized around being bulky and being powerful. So I'm not really sure if they will see a lot of play right now. Support Pokemon aren't really getting the love that they usually do, but Clefairy and Clefable definitely more viable with that heal pulse. Gigalith gets Curse. That's really, really cool. The fact that Gigalith is such a popular Pokemon right now, and it gets access to this really good move, means that it might see even more play. It's a Pokemon that, you know, doesn't have its 4 moves be moves that are mandatory, right? Protect, Wide Guard, Stone Edge, Heavy Slam is the usual, sometimes Rock Slide's thrown in. I mean, Wide Guard is pretty staple, Stone Edge is pretty staple, but that's about it. You don't have to run Heavy Slam, you can run Curse. You don't have to run Protect, well, you kind of do, but you can run Curse. You don't have to run Wide Guard, well, you kind of do, but you can run Curse. Curse is pretty good. We'll see if it uses it. If not, okay, but it has it. It's notable. Speaking of Curse, guess what Pokemon gets Curse? Guess what? Yeah, just guess. Just guess, okay? That's right. It's your boy, Crobat. Crobat gets Curse. That is game-changing. That is groundbreaking. Crobat, every single team. It's mandatory. It's staple. It's better than Mega Kangaskhan. It's... I'm giving a call. Fuck you. Next up is something... Don't you just fucking love it when the camera cuts out and doesn't tell you? I fucking love it. Next up is something so divine and respectable that I think everybody will just be ecstatic over it. The fact that Chansey and Blissey, oh, I say those and you're all just so happy because everybody just loves those Pokemon so much. They're so skillful and respectable, right? Chansey and Blissey get Seismic Toss. I want to that. But that's not all. Golduck also gets Simple Beam. I want to that. Isn't that wonderful? We're done with the jokes. Whimsicott gets beat up. That's pretty interesting. Goes along with Lucario, gets Justified. Any other Justified Pokemon in the format. That's a strategy that we've seen before. Usually not the best, but we'll see. Okay, now I'm just going to list off some moves that I think are pretty noteworthy, but not noteworthy enough to really talk about in depth.
We've got Pelipper with Knockoff. We've got Snorlax with Whirlwind. Slowbro and Slowking with Belch. Crabominable with Superpower, in case you want to run that over close combat. Drifblim with Tailwind. Serena with Faint. Sableye with Moonlight. Wigglytuff with Heal Pulse. Geodude / Golem with Curse. Scizor with Quick Guard. And Honchkrow with Parasong. Hariyama with Helping Hand, Tentacool with Knockoff, and Turtonator with Wide Guard.
Next up are a couple of abilities that we now have access to that I think are really, really awesome. First one is going to be Unnerve on Aerodactyl. I think this is actually huge, a lot huger than people think, because right now Aerodactyl sees a very, very small amount of play, but it's small enough to be noticeable. It's actually surprising that he's even seeing a little bit of play, considering the fact that he doesn't have an ability, basically. He has Rockhead, which doesn't do anything, and Pressure, which basically doesn't do anything. But a Nerve right now in this format does a lot. There's Muck, there's Snorlax, there's Arcanine, there's Citrus Berries on every single team. A Nerve is a really, really, really good ability right now. So the fact that Aerodactyl gets it, this Pokemon with 130 base speed, with Rock Slide, with Tailwind, I think it's very, very, very notable. But yeah, in conclusion, I think it's going to be making a little bit more of a splash than people think. Next up is going to be Porygon 2. So Porygon 2, everybody knows him, everybody loves him. The most popular Pokemon in the format right now. It gets Analytic. Is Analytic going to be more powerful than Download? Only time can tell, really. I think Analytic is going to introduce a new style of Porygon 2, where Porygon 2s are going to be the slowest thing on people's team, not run Trick Room, and then just function as another super powerful threat thanks to that Analytic that is very slow and bulky. So it'll be super interesting to see if Analytic ends up being more popular than Download. Personally, I do not think so. I think Download will continue to be more popular because I think the Trick Room aspect will be more popular. But I think Analytic will definitely be a thing you can see, and it'll be super cool.
Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to check out my other videos and make sure to subscribe to see future uploads. With that said, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.